They're saving that for the prequel that I just pitched.
Hey, put it out there, Rosie. If there's anyone who can make things happen, is you, girl.
Shalim!
Rosie!
How are you?
We made it.
We made it. We have a lot of Power fans in the house today, and a lot of.
I know.
Fans.
You were making me nervous. You're like, Shalim, where are you? And I'm like, where do I click this, man? I've been reading the instructions 1,000 times.
Ay, qué pena. Bueno, no problem, because we're here. Okay.
This is one of my first lives like ever.
And we're alive, right?
We're alive. We're alive. Exactly. Are we?
Well, Danilo is in worse shape, and Kane made sure of that yesterday.
Yeah.
So before we go into that, lead into there, you know what I mean? Oh, some comments are saying you look hot. I absolutely agree.
Oh, thank you.
That hair looks awesome.
It's not the Danilo hair.
I got my Mary J. Blige wine that somebody sent me for Christmas.
Oh my God, I don't even have that. Come on, well, you got the hookups, Rosie. You got the hookups. That's why I'm your friend, you know. That's why I'm your friend.
Mary J. Blige's love interest.
I didn't get the wine though. I didn't get the perks. I didn't get the perks.
Okay, Shalim. I want to talk about the moment that you auditioned for this role. Why did you want to play Danilo, and how did you feel when you got the role?
Well, this was a pretty long process. This started about October last year. Actually, was when we started shooting the first season of Ghost, and it was a classic story of getting a self-tape for a show called Ghost. Not a lot of information provided. Shows that are such a hit show like Power, you know, they try to keep everything under wraps, and they don't give you a lot of information, only what you need to know. And I did that self-tape, like the typical life of an actor. You do a self-tape and then you just don't think about it, you know, at all. You just let go and move on to the next. And then about a week later, my my office calls me that Courtney Kemp wants to talk to me, and I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, you know, Courtney Kemp wants to talk to you. You're in the mix for playing Ramirez. And she called me, very sweet, very kind. We had a great conversation. We kind of hit it off. Like, you know, we were talking about kids, you know, because, you know, I'm a dad, and, you know, she's got her kids. So we were talking a little bit about that. We broke the ice. And then, long story short, we just kind of clicked, you know, it felt organic. It felt right. And then next thing you know, I was living in Mexico at the time. Next thing you know, I was in a plane on my way to Brooklyn, to New York, to shoot my first episode of Ghost as Danilo Ramirez, which was great.
You need to hit her up. We need a prequel so that we can learn about Danilo.
Power Book 6, the Danilo origin story.
Yes, I love that.
Hey, I'm down.
Hit her up and pitch it. I'm here for that.
I love it.
Okay, what I love about this show is that as soon as you think you have something figured out, something completely different happens, which kind of unraveled during last night's episode. So can we kind of discuss the events that led up to, spoiler alert, Danilo super died. Like, Kane made sure that you super died.
Yeah, you know, Kane, brilliantly played by Woody McClain, who now I can call a very dear friend. We really got along very well, and now we're very close. I send him a big shout out. I'm a big fan of his as a human being and as a performer, as an actor that he is. The Kane Ramirez story was always very complex. You know, it's a classic tale of this younger guy who is going out with his mother, you know, and then he's got this very intense relationship with his mother, Monet. And it was kind of a build-up, you know. It was just something that was just kind of like brewing, you know, slowly. And I think Ramirez pushed the envelope, you know, a little too much. I want to believe that he didn't come from a bad place, you know. You know, as a backstory, I would want to think that he just comes from this tough love type of angle where he really cared about Kane, you know. I mean, he saved his ass. Can I say I did say it already. He saved his ass. But several times, you know, because he cared about him. He cared about Monet, of course, but he also cared a lot about Kane. He really wanted him to get out, you know, to get out of this world in a way. But when he saw that things were getting really ugly, and that when he found out that Monet and Tariq were starting to do business, I think that's when he went a little bit rogue, you know, and he went a little too far. And again, it's kind of like life itself. You don't know the demons Kane is carrying. Ramirez didn't know for sure. So he practiced tough love a little too at the wrong place and the wrong time, and you know, then we saw what happened. So that's in my opinion, I think that's how I think things kind of went down.
Well, Kane is taking time bomb, slapped the shit out of his mother.
Yeah.
And you know, I think his father put him over the edge after he.
Wow. Must I say, sorry to interrupt. I mean, that Berto Colon, my respects, Berto, bro. If you're watching, I love you. I'm sure you're not watching right now, but I love you, man. I'm a big fan. Actually, one of the things that I regret not being able to do was I wanted to have a moment with Lorenzo. I think Ramirez and Lorenzo could have had a great moment. You know, the two Puerto Rican characters. Because, by the way, whoever wondered, Danilo Ramirez was a Puerto Rican cub. He was Puerto Rican like me, you know. I'm Puerto Rican Dominican, and he was definitely a Puerto Rican. So that was cool. I love the fact that they kind of stayed true to my roots in a way.
I want to know about Monet's love for Latinos.
Right, I love that. She definitely has a type.
Yeah, I know. When I saw Berto, I was like, oh my gosh, she has.
I know. It worked. I think it worked. I also think because Berto and I are so different, you know, in many ways, you know, I don't mean just physically, but I think our ways, our style, like our backgrounds, you know, you can tell Lorenzo comes from a way different background than Ramirez does, but they all come from a rough background. You know, I think both of them must have had a rough childhood, a rough upbringing. So I think that's where they both met. And yeah, I mean, clearly Monet definitely got along with Latinos, and she liked Puerto Rican men, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm part of that. I'm part of that club. So we.
Oh, good.
Now, I have to imagine that you have to have listened to Mary J. Blige's music. I mean, how did you actually say, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have Mary J"?
Well, the Courtney Kemp phone call ended with the revelation of that information. You know, she said to me, "Hey, by the way, this character, he's gonna be Mary J. Blige's love interest on the show." And I was like, "Breathe, play it cool, but you're freaking out. You're dying inside." I'm like, "Cool, that's great. Oh, great, that sounds great." I'm like, "Oh my God, okay, now I'm freaking out." Of course, I love Mary J. Blige. Please, I mean, who doesn't? She's the queen of hip hop. She's a queen. Period. She was so amazing, Rosie. I mean, aside from the fact that she's Mary J., she's just an amazing human being. I have absolutely nothing negative or bad to say. She was just an elegant, amazing woman. You know, very generous as an actor, and yeah, I mean, 911 is one of my favorite songs of all time with Wyclef Jean and Mary J. Blige. So, you know, I'm a huge fan. Of course, I played it very low key on set. I wasn't gonna be like, you know, going like, "Hey, by the way," you know. So but she was very cool. She was awesome.
There's this scene, and I don't know how to say this in English, but lo puteó a Danilo. He was like, who, and you know, get out of here.
He told him off.
All for you. And I'm like, damn, I would let Mary J. Blige putearme too.
Oh my God, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I mean, I didn't get enough of it. I'm like, please, tell me off more, you know? For sure.
You were raised by such a strong mama. I gotta imagine that
oh yeah.
Thing for you, that you being around strong women.
Yeah. My mother definitely had a character. So I'm like, you know, I know a thing or two, and you know, you being you got the green light with me.
Awesome. Do you know the backstory about how Danilo and Monet met?
No, it wasn't really discussed. I mean, again, because this is such a even though it's a standalone show, it's technically Power, you know. So they kept everything so under wraps, even with us as actors, that they kind of just gave you enough information. And I think they also did it on purpose. They also wanted you to be open to whichever backstory you feel, you know, works for your character after you start working on the scenes and everything. And I gotta say, the table reads were amazing. I mean, the table reads were epic. For starters, it was like pre-COVID, of course, pre-pandemic. It was one of the biggest table reads I had ever been a part of. And when you would read the script, you could feel that it was a big family, and everybody just the energy was so palpable that it was great, you know. So the specifics of how Monet and Danilo met, I'm not sure, but you know, I'm sure they must have met at some moment when one of her kids got in trouble, you know, maybe even Kane himself, you know, or Drew, or one of her boys must have gotten in trouble, and I happened to have been the cop. I took him to the house, you know, the same way Ramirez is introduced in episode 1, you know, and is everything okay? You good? Everything good? I mean, we kind of play that knowing that this was kind of like a recurring thing. This is clearly not the first time I get the call when, you know, one of her boys is in some kind of trouble. So I want to believe that's the way, that's how we must have met at some point.
They're saving that for the prequel that I just pitched.
Hey, put it out there, Rosie. If there's anyone who can make things happen, is you, girl.
Oh my God. That was so powerful, Shalim. I'm going to put it out into the universe.
Yes.
I was sad to not see you have any scenes with Method Man, who was one of my favorites. Did you get to hang out with him at all behind the scenes? I want to know how much fun you guys had just in general behind the scenes. You
know, it was weird, but we kind of all kept in a weird way, we kind of like stayed in our universes, you know, like my universe was the Tejadas. So I was able to hang out a lot with LaToya, of course, with Woody, with Mary, but we didn't do a lot of hanging out either. We were also kind of, at the time I wasn't living in Brooklyn permanently, so I did a lot of flying back and forth. So I would just kind of fly to shoot the episode. But you know, obviously behind the scenes, we all got along, and the energy was just amazing. A great set of directors too. I mean, I gotta say, you know, Erica Watson.
Mom is here.
Who?
Hi, Johnny C.
Oh, there's Mom. Yeah, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Her.
Mom, I'm with Rosie on Entertainment Weekly, so you know, I'm mic dropping right now.
You see, I appeared, so I know that we're getting our prequel, Shalim.
That's amazing. That's a sign, Rosie. That's a sign.
You see?
You know, this is a Jupiter-Saturn thing. This must be still like the remnants of Jupiter-Saturn aligning, I'm thinking.
Whatever. And your mom would actually fit that Power World perfectly, too.
For sure. Are you kidding? Yeah. She'll bring it out. She'll bring it out for sure.
So in that final scene there, before you die, we find out that you were behind Kane's wanting to or his attempt to kill Tariq. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, I think, again, I think this is something that was working its way to that moment, you know? And I think the tensions between Kane and Tariq are only going to get more and more hardcore, you know? And now that Monet has kind of, you know, put him aside, like she's like, don't even mention that name anymore, you know? I can't wait for next Sunday, to be honest with you. I'm also a fan as much as I am, you know, part of the whole universe. So, but then again, you know, Kane is Kane. I mean, he's got guts, and I think it's going to be a pretty epic war between both of them coming up. We'll see what's going to happen. Anything can happen. I mean, I think if there's any proof that. If any proof of that is actually the Power series, because, you know, we one thing Courtney and 50 Cent love to do is to shock the world.
I feel like I'm shocked though, like every episode.
Me too. I gasped I mean, on the table reads, because that's kind of our version of watching the show for the first time. And they keep everything so confidential that it's not until that day that you really hear and get a glimpse of the whole episode, you know, from beginning to end. So it's a fascinating way of hearing it, you know. You can almost paint the picture, not even by shooting it, just by hearing all the characters out loud. It's one of my favorite stages, to be honest with you. And I think the Ghost table read has to be one of my favorites I've ever witnessed, because you really, I mean, it really resonates with the intensity of the final product.
Well, the intensity, I feel, is what keeps everyone hooked from week to week. So
Yeah.
I hear that you're a fan as much as, you know, since you worked on the series. What are your predictions for the finale?
Wow. Well, I know certain things, of course. So
I thought maybe you
this is where I'm on pins and needles. I don't know a lot, though. I don't know a lot. I just, you know, I mean, when you're working for almost a year, you hear, you know, things in the hallways.
We're Latino. Our ears are like...
Mi amor, mami, esas orejas están prendidas. Esas orejas están prendidas. But I can only say, guys, buckle up. You know, it's gonna be heavy. It's not gonna disappoint. It's gonna be very power style season finale, and yeah, that's as much as I can say before I get in trouble and get some sort of a legal, you know, lawsuit or, you know, a warning or something. It's
like your last day at work. You're like, oh, I can do whatever I want because I can't get fired.
No, I want to get hired again by them.
Come back in flashback in another season, right?
Yeah, I mean, in Racing Canaan, in the Tommy Show, I'm like, bring me, man. You know, I'll do whatever.
No, but I mean, even here, like, you can always come back as, you know, flashbacks. I want to know the origin stories of that relationship.
Me too. I'm curious. I think there's a lot you could play with there. But I gotta say, I believe Mary and I had a really great chemistry on screen. I felt it, you know, from the beginning. You know, we just, again, she was so generous and so cool that she made the whole thing feel so comfortable, and it felt real. It really felt real, even when we were shooting it. I could feel. I mean, if you ask me, one of my favorite scenes was in bed, you know, when I'm asking her about her ring. I'm like, you know, don't you want something more? Why are you, like, attached to this guy? You know, he's doing life in prison. And, you know, she's like, you know, that's none of your business, you know. So she always she always stops him in the tracks, but he keeps persisting. But we can see progressively how Ramirez just starts just letting go, you know, understanding that it's not going to go anywhere. You know, you can even see, like, the last time he kind of saves King's ass from the streets, and he's like, hey, do you need anything else? He's like, no, we're done here. And I'm like, whatever, you know. I remember treating that scene like, I think this was episode 7. I remember treating that scene like this was my last time on the show, you know. I'm like, you know what, there's no more I can do, you know, for Monet. So it was like, that's it, you know. So I think the moment when Kane and Ramirez, that last encounter, you know, Kane was already going, Ramirez was already going rogue, you know. He had already kind of let go of everything. Even when he says Monet needs me now than ever, he didn't even buy it, you know. Like, he doesn't even buy that, you know. It's like, you know, now you just, in Spanish they say tirando patadas de ahogado. It's like when you're drowning and you're just, like, you know, kicking your feet, you know, because you're drowning. That was kind of what Ramirez was doing in that last dialogue with Kane.
Well, I think he's also he plays an important role in where Kane is going. It's that catalyst to something. It's like he's going deeper and deeper into what he's doing. So
yeah, I love Rosy, on that note, how brilliantly written was that before our last encounter, the last time you see us is on episode 7, and you can almost think that Kane and Ramirez was going to join forces to go against Tariq and Monet, you know. And I even thought that's where it was going to go. So it was great. This is where what I meant by how they are very good at giving you just what you need to know, because I loved that I didn't know where he was going to go after, and I played it like, you know what, let's join forces. He just found out that Tariq and Monet are doing business together. Let's get together, get in the car, let's do this together. And then, you know, what happens. It was a curveball. Nobody saw it coming.
You're saying when Kane calls it from jail to say
right. Well, when I get him out of jail for the second time, you know, when I tell him about the GTG, and that's when he reveals to me, he's like, hey, Tariq is doing business with my mom. And I'm like, Tariq, St. Patrick? And he's like, yeah. And that's I think that's the beginning of like, you know, and that moment, it kind of felt like we were going to start we were going to join forces. And I remember on Twitter reading a lot of people going like, wow, I didn't see this coming. Kane and Ramirez are going to join forces now. And yeah, not so much.
Well, we want some more from you. What can we expect from you in 2021? Things are so weird right now.
Yeah, they're very weird. I want to send my thoughts out to everybody who has lost somebody, who has suffered from these horrible times, this horrible pandemic that hit us by surprise. I want to send everybody all my love, and I'm with you. And yeah, I just, you know, my heart is with you. I'm right now shooting a show called All Rise on CBS. It's a very timely show, Monday nights at 9, and I'm working with an amazing cast, Jessica Camacho, and it's just J. Alex Robinson, just an amazing group of people. And I've been on season 2, and we're gonna resume shooting in a couple of weeks now.
Here, give me. She's
there she is. There she is, my girl. There she is.
Somebody
Hi, Jessica.
On the Mayans. Can you?
What?
Somebody in the comments is saying they want to see you on FX's Mayans. You know, the spinoff of Sons of Anarchy.
Rosy, listen, okay. Whoever said that, they need to hear this. I have done like 7 auditions for Mayans. They don't want me, okay? I have done everything possible. I can't get more tattoos. I mean, listen, I'm like, I want to be in Mayans so bad. Also because I would love to work with Danny Pino again. Danny Pino wrote, who's a dear friend of mine, a huge fan. Danny wrote an episode of Cold Case that I guest starred in years ago called Stealing Home. I still remember the title of the episode. That's how much it marked me. One of my favorite guest stars I've ever done. And it was about this immigrant, Cuban baseball player immigrant, and just a beautiful Cuban immigrant story from Danny. So it would be a dream to be on that show with him. But we'll see. Maybe one day I'll convince them.
The next time I interview Elgin James, I'm going to put in a good word for you. Please
do. I would love that.
Making things happen for Latinos in Hollywood.
Oh my God, it's such a great show. I'm a huge Sons of Anarchy fan. Huge. Katie Segal, I don't know if you remember, she had a major recurring on Grand Hotel with me. And,
of course.
She played my boss on the show, and I was such a fan of Gemma Teller on Sons of Anarchy that, you know, to be working with her, I was downplaying it cool, just like Mary J. Blige. It was just the same effect on me, you know. So yeah, we talked a little bit about that, but yeah.
Dish, I need to know what you guys talked about.
No, she was like, hey, listen, you know, whenever you got a self-tape or something, you know, just let them know that we work together. I'll put in a good word for you. She's very sweet. She's very cool.
Anarchy.
Yeah, but yo, Rosy, you start a campaign. You're the campaign starter. You're the startup girl.
I like to make some noise.
Please do.
And really quick, before I let you go, I mean, aside from, because you're like such a Power super fan, like we all are there any other shows that you've been binging while you've been during quarantine?
Oh, wow. You know, I think a lot of people, I got into documentaries hardcore. So I was one of the millions who watched Last Dance, of course. That was one of my favorites. I also, I love Billions. Which my sister, who's also an actress, I want to send her my love to Sharina. She was in a couple of episodes of Billions. It was very trippy to see her on one of my favorite shows. And yeah, I mean, what else? I watch a lot of kids shows too. I got 3 boys, Rosy, so you know, I'm Toy Storying it, and I'm watching Marvel movies, and I'm watching Star Wars, you know. So I gotta also do that.
A lot of Latinos that are spinning off in all kinds of Star Wars stuff. So we'll just have to wish for you to be on Star Wars.
I can't wait. That's one of my bucket list dreams right there as well.
That's some. I love you as an actor, that I just want to see you in everything that I'm watching.
You're so sweet. I know. But for those who don't know, Rosy and I know each other from way back, right? Way back.
Was it around the time that you were on Heroes? I think you were on Heroes then.
Yes. Yeah, it must have been like 12 years ago, maybe. 12. Yeah, like 12 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I remember I went up to you at this award show in Miami and I was like, oh my God, I'm such a fan. And here we are like 12 years later and we're talking about, you know,
Crazy.
your work.
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the magic of the universe, Shalim.
I also wanna give some shout out to a couple of people from Ghost because they've been amazing. One thing that Ghost gave me was a beautiful new family. And, you know, first of all, obviously Courtney and 50 for giving me this amazing opportunity, for doing such a timely, important Black and Brown show that is so much needed right now to show the reality of the world right now and how we can be in a position of power as well. And I also wanna say shout out to Eve Rivera, who is directed episode 6, which was one of my most prominent episodes, and he and I became really great friends. He's like a brother to me. To Hernan Otaño, to Erica Watson, to Bart Wenrich, who directed the episode 9, where Ramirez says goodbye, joins the Power Heaven. And of course, Mary J. Blige, Gianni Paolo, and Woody McClain, who plays Kane, who I'm a huge fan of, and I just want to send all my love to all of them. It's really hard to hate Kane when you're talking so well about the actor. Rosy, whenever you interview, honestly, you got to interview him soon. Woody is the sweetest human being, guys, you'll ever meet in your life. He's the coolest guy ever, which is amazing. I love the contradiction of this guy that looks so intimidating on screen and off screen. He's just the sweetest human being. I have nothing bad to say about him, seriously. Do you guys from Power have like a group chat? If they do, I'm not in it. No, I think they do. I'm not sure, but I definitely keep in touch with all of them. I mean, we're always like liking each other, and we always follow each other. So, yeah, it's cool. Well, it was so nice to chat with you, Shalim. I hate to end it, but aquí estás en tu casa. We can talk. You know, when you start your next program next season, it's always good to catch up with you. Thank you. Well, I'm All Rise is right now on air. Every Monday nights at 9. So check it out on CBS. It's an amazing show with an amazing cast, and it's a beautiful role. The character is Joaquin Luna, and he is this activist, political activist who's in the whole law world, and he is Emily's love interest, who's played by Jessica Camacho. And it's a timely show. It talks about, the COVID times, Black Lives Matter protests, and, it's a beautiful legal drama. So you guys can check me out there every Monday. If anybody watching has a question, this is the moment to ask. Yeah, ask away, please. Somebody's asking, what did you eat for breakfast this morning? I had, actually, my boys were with me this morning. So I cooked some eggs and bacon and toast and butter. Classic, traditional continental breakfast. Not a star. You're just dad. I'm on dad mode. I'm on dad mode until beginning of January, and I'm loving every minute of it. Yeah, I take off all the whole mask when I'm here. Do you salsa dance? Salsa dance. I'm gonna owe it to you. Now on Instagram Live. No, okay, if you do, somebody. Oh, I heard do a salsa dance. I'm like, do Rosy. Salsa dance. Oh, of course I salsa dance. Yeah, like, I mean, you can be Puerto Rican and then Dominican. Yeah, I dance salsa, I dance merengue. I'm not Ricky Martin, but I can dance. Ricky Martin. Huh? None of us can be Ricky Martin. None of us. Yeah. That's his thing. That's his thing. I'm not. Yeah. Something that you wish you knew when you first started as an actor that you know now? To let go, to know that whatever job and opportunity is meant for you, no one and nothing can stop it, and I think in my early 20s and my early 30s, we were so anxious and so desperate to want to make it and to want to work that you would get anxious and go so attached. I think being naive is very sweet too. I remember I auditioned for, I think it wasn't Speed Racer. It was the Lindsay Lohan Disney movie years ago. Which one? The Parent Trap? No, it was a car as well. It was a car. I don't remember now, but it was a Disney movie. And I remember I wanted it so bad that I wrote this 3-page letter to the director explaining why I should get the role. You know what I mean? And it was so beautiful, But now you understand that those things kind of don't work most of the time. You know, it's just you're just being naive. But just to be more patient and to just wait for your turn.
You never know though when something is gonna work. Honestly,
That's true. That's true. I mean, I've heard stories about what?
Herbie.
That's it. Yeah, Hervey. Yeah. I remember I wrote this long letter saying like, listen, I'm your choice because, and I just did this huge argument. It was adorable. It was great. It was 20-year-old me, you know, just wanting to make it.
There's a bunch of people asking if you're single, which is not a question I normally like to ask. So you can answer it if you want, or we can move it along.
I am. I'm single. I'm single. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
Okay. Somebody wants to know what it was like working with 50 Cent.
Oh, 50 is amazing. I was able to spend a little bit of time with him again through Eve Rivera, who's very dear friends with 50. They've both been amazing friends their whole lives. They're both from the Bronx, and they just they grew up together. So I had the pleasure of meeting him, and he's just an amazing human being, a visionary, and yeah, just again, just bucket list stuff, you know, just to know that I was able to meet 50, work with 50, work with Mary. I mean, it's one of those pinch me moments, you know. That's one thing I don't think I'm ever gonna. I'm always gonna be that way, you know. I never take anything for granted. I am extremely grateful and humbled when those kind of things happen in my life.
You're one of the humblest guys in Hollywood, so please.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
I don't know that.
I think gratitude is everything, Rosie. I really do. I think it's the motor that drives us.
Everyone's celebrating that you're single.
Oh my God! Should I have said no? I mean, I should have said something like it's complicated.
Why?
What's the trendy answer?
Why can't we dream, Shalim? Let us dream.
That's funny. You're cute.
Okay.
Look, me hiciste sonrojar y todo.
Pero eso está bueno.
I'm blushing here.
We want to see you.
That's hard with a brown skin to blush. It's a real blush. When brown skin blushes, it blushes for real.
Bueno, through this pandemic, I mean, I'm normally super brown. Right here, I'm like the whitest I've ever been in my life.
Well, you probably haven't been to the beach in a while.
What is the beach?
Exactly.
I don't leave my apartment.
I know. I think that's one of those things that we all have in common. We've all kept it kind of indoors these days, but at least we have this, right? At least we send love virtually, and we read all these beautiful messages, and I can read a lot of friends that are. I can see a lot of names, but it's all going so fast. How do you keep up? How do you do this?
That's my skill, my super.
That's your thing. That's your thing. Yeah.
Patrick from Miami wants to know is Danilo really dead? I mean, I think that our poor innocent Patrick where you punched and shot multiple times. He's hopeful that you could still show up alive.
Yeah, Patrick, I hate to break it to you, man. I mean, he looks pretty dead to me, man. I saw the scene a couple of times. I mean, it's kind of a done deal, in my opinion.
I mean, I've seen
you never know. Yeah, I've seen weirder things, and you know, when I did Heroes and Siler stabbed me 22 times, you know, I had hopes there too, but you know, not even Alejandro Herrera's poison worked at that time either.
Oh my God, please don't even let me lament anymore about Heroes. That was one of my favorite shows forever.
I know. That is when we met, wasn't it? Was it before?
Pardon?
Was it before or was it during? I feel like it was even earlier than that.
You think?
I don't know. What was your blog called at that time? You had a blog, right?
Going way back.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Bring out the el baúl. What was your blog called?
Accidental Sexiness.
Yes, I remember that. How cool. You just took me back to the early 2000s right there.
Wow, you took me way back there. And so Patrick is now responding. He says 50 Cent has been shot before.
Yeah, but you know, I ain't no 50.
This is a fictional world. At least we have that.
Yeah, that's true.
To say that.
That's true. And you know, I think Kane's last two shots, he just made sure the job was done.
Listen, I don't blame anybody for wishing that Danilo could be around for a little bit longer, because I do. there was so much more about him that I wanted to see revealed. But
yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cookie crumbles.
We're going to follow you to all of your other shows and everything else because you are one of my favorite people. Shalim, thank you for chatting with me today.
You're so sweet, Rosie. You know, whenever you call, the phone is answered because I'm your fan too, and I want to say that you've done such an amazing work for the Latinx community, and we're all extremely proud of you. And I can speak for all of us. We need more Rosies out there. I've said it on Twitter, but I say it now. Seriously, you really are an example of the kind of people we need out there representing us and our culture.
And ditto on all of it. Okay.
I love you, Rosie. Thank you.
We need an even better 2021.
I know. The 2021 is going to be much better. I want to send everybody all my thoughts again, and to please hold on to faith and hope, and you know, in the hopes that this is going to end soon, and we're going to be able to at least breathe a little better, you know, than we are these days, because it's been tough. It's been tough. I know. And
a great way to celebrate would be with a Shalim, Mary J. Blige musical collaboration. That's it.
Wow.
That's my final wish for today.
You know what? I'm gonna light a candle. I think it's a good moment to leave it at that. I agree.
To that with my Mary J. Blige wine.
Yes. Cheers to that with her wine for sure.
Un abrazo.
Un beso grande. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining.